Hey everybody, this is Schmo's No Intern RB3, and you are watching the Cinescape podcast. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Cinescape podcast, where we're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. Happy Saturday night live here from my porch here at my house. Doing a little impromptu show. Bill and I are not in the studio today, but we wanted to bring you guys some content for your Saturday night pleasure. Billy, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Sean, on your luxurious porch here.
So luxurious.
It's a nice three-season porch, and we have lots of bug spray with DEET. Got to have DEET on a summery night like this. Hopefully they can see us. With the lighting effects that we have in the studio here, but we're here Saturday for the boys, so let's jump into some stuff, man.
Before we get into anything, we do want to let you guys know that we are going to be taking your questions. So if you are joining us in the chat, we're going to be taking movie questions, TV questions. So if you have something that you want to have answered, just leave your comment in there, and we will be sure to get to it. So with all of that out of the way, we are going to get first into our, and let me find, I'm using a different soundboard here today. We're going to get into our TV buzz segment, Bill. And also, today's show, like always, is brought to you by Alternate Dimension Toys. Stop in today for the largest collection of toys, collectibles, and Funko Pop figures. I know we got to buzz it up, Bill, as you're applying more DEET here.
Yeah.
But our gracious sponsor, Andy from Alternate Dimension Toys, they got something really cool going on right now. You want to tell us a little bit about it, Ben?
They're up in Boston.
Oh, Boston.
At one of the cons up there. But as always, if you go into Alternate Dimension Toys, mention the Cinescape to Andy while you're making your purchase, and you have just redeemed yourself for 15% off of any
15%,
any of his merchandise there. So go in, give a name drop, take a smelfie or something, and mention us when you go in, and let us know.
All right. With all that out of the way, we are going to get buzzed here. We just have a couple of stories for you guys today. Not too much. We want to spend a lot of time answering your guys' questions, and we're going to throw it back and forth between each other a little bit too. But our first story here, American Horror Story creator Ryan Murphy has confirmed via Instagram that Emma Roberts will be returning for the upcoming season of the series. Roberts previously appeared in seasons 3 and 4. Bill, what do you think about Emma Roberts returning to American Horror Story?
I'm excited to see her back. She's obviously one of the familiar faces, perennial actresses on the show, and I'm glad to see that she's going to be returning for this season. After Scream Queens was dropped from the Fox dais.
I got the axe quick.
Yeah.
How many seasons did that last? Do you remember?
I believe
3?
2.
2?
It was a more lighthearted, in a sense, more commercial success spinoff of American Horror Story. But it just didn't gravitate very long. But it had it had a strong run. It was definitely an interesting show if you wanted to go back and check it out. But obviously, we are going to see Emma Roberts full steam ahead with American Horror Story coming up soon. What do you think about this new season? It's going to be cult. We also saw Ryan Murphy dropped on Twitter about 2 weeks ago how all these seasons are connected, which we did confirm a while back.
Right.
But we got word that that they are all connected, and they all have to do with the 7 layers of hell, actually. And so, I'm trying to pull up the file that he had posted. And I mean, the thing is that we still have technically 2 layers of hell that haven't been revealed yet. And so we did get word that American Horror Story is going to be renewed for another 2 seasons. So will we see Ryan Murphy's master plan unfold?
Most likely. I mean, the show is just so uberly popular that a season like last season where it wasn't very good, it's still going to draw the attention of fans no matter how crappy the previous season is. Some people are going to drop off, but the main focus of the fans are going to stay on for it and look to see what's next. As far as this cult season going on, we've discussed before, I'm terrified of clowns. So all these little promo videos and images that we're getting leading up to the series here starting soon, absolutely horrifying for me. Tag team that with the new It movie coming out, and it's just it's clown galore, and it's it's getting me a little uneasy, Bill. I'm not liking it, but I'm gonna watch it.
I know you're not a fan of clowns.
No, definitely not.
For anybody that's new to the podcast or new to just us in general, Sean is not a fan of clowns. So
not a fan.
You got the movie It coming out. What do you? What's your honest take on the disparity of clowns from the old It to the new It?
I mean, I think his costume looks silly. I mean, it's that like Victorian era kind of clown. The big frilly pups going on. Jerry's puppy shirt going on in there.
Jerry.
But just from the TV spots and trailers that we're getting, it's just sickeningly horrifying for somebody like myself, but it looks really good. I'm as much as I'm scared of clowns, I am a fan of the original TV movie. I actually did order the book a few years back off of Amazon. I got a gripe about this one. Ordered the book off Amazon. It was cheap. It was like a used one, I get the book a couple days later, a week or later. Start just leafing through the book, make sure everything was okay. It was missing about 50 pages out of the middle of it.
Interesting.
So, I didn't even bother to read it. I just threw it in the trash. But I do want to read the novel because, from everything I'm hearing, this new film is more tied to the original Stephen King novel and takes more off of that. So it's definitely something I want to read. I know the audiobook, the longevity of the audiobook is like 44 hours if you're going to listen to it. So maybe next summer it can be a summer reading list item.
Yeah. Until then.
Yeah, until then. Bill, you want to read our next one?
Absolutely. So Disney has plans to launch their own online streaming service after initial news came out about them pulling their properties off of the Netflix service. New negotiations are currently ongoing to keep them. We got this news drop earlier this week that Disney was going to be pulling their content off the Netflix servers and starting up their own stream service. From what else I gather on this is that there's going to be a Disney stream service that's going to include obviously the entire Disney catalog,
Disney,
along with
Marvel,
Star
Lucasfilm.
Wars, Marvel, but I'm also hearing NHL as well.
Oh.
Since Disney is a parent company of ABC and ESPN, if you're a sports fan, then you obviously know that the NHL does not have a large coverage base on ESPN and other major sports networks.
Stupid. Hockey's the greatest.
Obviously. So, I think there's a lot of bonuses here. I know a lot of people are throwing their arms up in rage, but I think honestly this does very well for Disney and the other properties that they own. Marvel getting bigger as the days go by, but obviously still restricted as well with the content that they're trying to put out properly. I mean, when we look at the tough business negotiations as far as character development, the properties that are still not owned by Marvel or properties that Marvel is trying to get back. I think this definitely helps leverage, getting some of those characters back, as well as being able to put out the property that Marvel wants to put out the way that they want it. And when we talk about Star Wars, how Star Wars is now, for the past few years has been going through a redevelopment as far as animated series and, new storylines go. I think it's going to be, good for Star Wars as well. And I mean, just being able to have the full Disney catalog available to you at your disposal is going to be huge. And, obviously from a business perspective, we know that ESPN has been, sorely, dropping in the ratings game, and they are trying to figure stuff out.
They laid off like 100 people this year.
They have laid off so many people, tried to revamp their show lineups and stuff like that. They recently, just earlier this week, brought back ESPN's The Ocho.
Oh, The Ocho.
The Ocho, which was featured in the movie Dodgeball almost 10 years ago now. And, when we talk about something that, gets people excited, this was obviously 10 years way too late. They put it on the ESPNU channel for an entire day and featured random sports such as arm wrestling, darts. There was some game that I'd never even heard of before, but is very popular apparently over in Europe. But the fact that people were excited and wanted to watch this shows that ESPN really is not aware of their fan base and what people would really like to see. And, unfortunately it comes, a little too late for comfort. But needless to say, Disney planning to launch their own streaming service in the near future. I think it's all thumbs up from here. What do you think, Sean?
I understand it from a business end. All different networks and places are, getting their own streaming services going.
Yeah, I'm just playing with the light.
But at the same time, if you're already paying for, a service like Netflix and then you're having things taken off of it to, branch off into something else, you're going to have to pay more on top of that. I did read a report that the current deal as it's slated is going to run through, I believe, 2018, where all Marvel will still, or Disney will still be on Netflix, and something came out today that they're working on keeping it as a part of Netflix on top of their own streaming service. I don't know if that's going to be worked out. But honestly, if I'm going to have a service like this, like a Netflix that I already pay for, I'm not going to go ahead and get something for Disney because, A, the only thing Marvel related that I watch on Netflix are, the Defenders and all their spin-off shows, and those are going to remain on Netflix. So if I want to watch a Marvel movie that's on Netflix, chances are I already have the Blu-ray. Right. So if you want to, repeat view a movie that, is on there, just go ahead and buy it. It's a one-time buy, $25. You don't have to pay $7.99, $8.99. The only thing that is interesting is with Lucasfilm being a part of this. Could they make their own, TV series or web series, in the Star Wars universe? Kind of like how Star Trek with CBS All Access, they're doing Star Trek Discovery with CBS All Access, going to try to get people to sign up. They're already paying for CBS as a part of their regular cable package, but the only, incentive to get this service is for Star Trek. So are they going to, slip a Star Wars show on this new streaming service to entice new people to come sign up for it? So that's going to be kind of a dilemma there, whether you're going to, front the money for that. But I just think, the way that these streaming services are going, they're great for cord cutters. You don't want to pay. Like, our cable bill is almost $200 a month. We use Comcast.
Story of my life.
It's great if you can get a Hulu, get an Amazon, get a Netflix, and not have to worry about paying, buku bucks to watch TV anymore. But the way that I think this is going to wind up going is they'll essentially cut out, cable as we know it, and it's ultimately could make it cheaper, but then they're going to wind up cannibalizing each other. If you're going to have to pay $8 here, $10 here, for all these different singular services, it's going to wind up being the same amount that you're already paying. So it's really not going to save you any money in the long run.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you hit an excellent point, because as we see more of these streaming services, take off and get bigger. I mean, the fact that Disney now planning to launch their own streaming service, it definitely undercuts, the competition as far as, Comcast or Verizon is concerned. And, obviously, good competition, helps breed, good business. And, now we see, Slingbox, which, for the longest time...
It's been around for a bunch of years now.
And I mean, I've always said that, I would love to have an a la carte service. When we talk about our astronomical cable bills that we're paying,
$195.
Yeah, $200. I mean, I know some people that are over that. And, when you talk about the channel lineups...
How many of them do you watch?
Exactly. How many do you really watch? How many do you really need? And I've always said, it'd be great to have an a la carte service where I could just pick and choose the channels that I would love to watch.
Sure.
And now Slingbox is actually featuring that a la carte service. And then, with the addition of PlayStation, they have the, PlayStation Now service where, for, I believe it's like $40, you can get that basic Comcast, like 1 to 50 or 1 to 60 channel lineup of your basic channels that you would get. The competition is out there where now you have more than one, accessibility to these to this content and these services. And I mean, ultimately, it'll probably cause Comcast and Verizon to lower rates in order to be more competitive.
They're going to have to, absolutely.
But the thing that's not going to change is the fact that Comcast, more so than Verizon, yet both of them, they are the ones that are hardwired across this country. They're the ones that own the even though if you cut your cable bill, you still need internet. So chances are you are still purchasing a service from Comcast or Verizon. So, I mean, in the near future, what's going to happen? You're probably going to see, some of these companies have to merge together in order to then still distribute the content in a way that is more modern for today. I guess you can blame millennials once again. Add it to the list. Millennials responsible for cutting the cord of cable. But what it's going to do is it's going to obviously cause more competition, breed better business, and hopefully drive a new way of accessing content for the modern day. Whoa! And we have gunshots because we're close to Croydon. But all in all, I think it's going to be something that changes the landscape of TV and movie.
I see what you did.
Viewership, and we're gonna have to see how it pans out. But honestly, I'm looking at cutting the cord too, and I don't mean an umbilical cord.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But I honestly, would love to try out some of these other services like Slingbox. And,
I have a Roku box that I got for Christmas, and it doesn't have a lot on there available, but some of your basic network channels. It's got all that stuff. You just plug it right into your TV, and it works right through your Wi-Fi.
And one thing that I'm hearing is that PlayStation might come out and announce at some point that the PlayStation what is it? The View? Is that what they call it? The View service? Or now? I mean, I know.
Well, it's not Plus. It's not Plus anymore?
Plus is the subscription package,
okay.
yeah. So, the premium viewership. But what I'm hearing is that the streaming content service will probably be integrated into the PlayStation Plus membership.
Okay.
Which I honestly think would obviously make a real strong case for PS4 to be, the top gaming console then, but ultimately to be the most all-inclusive package to have gaming and streaming TV and video service all in one and really make the entertainment console a household staple. So, we've debated this several times about, what makes the PlayStation a superior gaming console.
Well, we all know it is.
Right, to Xbox. But we know that, it's got, great computing abilities, the speed, the accessibility, but, now when you throw something like a streaming open access package to a premium membership that you pay for, for special features, it's honestly going to be an all-inclusive entertainment console that any household would need
right.
as a necessity at that point. So I mean, hands down, if you're an Xbox person, you heard it here first, or again, that the PlayStation is, a superior piece of machinery. If you don't have one, go get one.
All right. Before we move on, let us know what your thoughts are in the chat here. We got a bunch of guys in there.
And girls.
Guys, it's a collective.
Yeah.
Guys,
well, Sam just Sam Gibalisco. She's new to the group. She just mentioned that going back to AHS, American Horror Story, that the remaining two seasons left out would be Lust and Violence. So she asked, what do we think could be the possible themes for those, especially since they also keep all the seasons connected in some way too? It's a great question, Sam from Wichita. The Lust and Violence. I mean, I wouldn't even really know where to begin, in guessing, because Ryan Murphy has fooled us, for so many years right now that, it took us obviously this long to just figure out, that the seasons were connected, and then to obviously to get evidence of how they were connected, and then now the confirmations of what the tying themes are, that the reason why the show is so successful at this point is that it still keeps you on your toes and keeps you guessing. So for me, I don't know how Lust and Violence are gonna really play out, because the themes are just that. They are themes, and if it's violence, well then it's gonna be violent.
I mean, we've gotten a lot of violence already.
There's always
violence.
But that's the thing. It's never the thematic play out of it is never one where it is so blatant that is what it is. When we saw Gluttony, it wasn't like, oh, it's just a fat guy eating tons of food for 10 episodes. No, but what you get is the experience playing out on screen of a gluttonous behavior that develops and transcends across the screen, and by the end of it all, you can sense that. So we're just gonna have to stay tuned and see how Ryan Murphy will plan to keep us on our toes.
All right. Thanks for the question, Sam. What else we got going on in the chat? Anything else?
Not too much right now. Ryan McGee popped in from Guam. I believe he's in Guam, where North Korea is really starting to make some threats over there. And I fearless leader, got a job, telling lots of people that fear and fire will be on the brink very, very soon. So, Rye Guy, I hope you are safe out there in Guam or
East Jabip.
East Jabip. And I hope you are doing well out there, sir. Give us a shout out sometime, and when we're back in the studio, feel free to call in.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen him in a really long time.
I know.
I probably haven't seen him since he first came home when he joined us there.
Yeah, I mean,
we miss you, Rye Guy.
Miss you, man. I feel like the last time I saw him, I feel like I probably have seen him around when he's come home, but the last real memory I have is probably when we were at the Winter Classic in Boston.
Oh, jeez. 2010.
Yeah, and I remember we were...
7 years?
Yeah, I remember, I think we smoked a blunt in the hotel room and then proceeded to walk to a bar somewhere, and, we got lost or whatever, but...
We spent New Year's in Cheers.
We did.
That's cool.
I mean, that was honestly a great New Year's that we could have... ever hoped for, because I think the funny thing is that here we are in another major city on the East Coast, New Year's Eve playing out, and it was a snowy night. It had just had that heavy wet snow the day before leading into the morning of, but we were right in a heavy populated area where there was a lot of bars, and I'm sure you remember, we passed so many bars that had, lines out front to get in that, had signs for cover charges that were $20, $25, $30, $35, even $50 for entry into some of these places, and people were dressed up, obviously, and I remember, we just ended up going to the closest Cheers.
Right. And there's two in Boston.
I think there's 3.
3? Okay.
Maybe 2. But we went to the non-original one, but we had walked right in, no line, and were able to go right to the bar, and they had $3 Miller Lights the entire night. I mean,
it's a good deal.
Where else can you go, on New Year's Eve in a big city? Say that you drank at Cheers, $3 beers all night.
That's right.
Done deal.
If you are just joining us in the chat, we have some of our normal flow to the show. We have our TV buzz that we're kind of still in the middle of right now, but we're going to be jumping back and forth a lot. This is an impromptu show, as you can obviously tell. We are not in studio
We got another question.
We got another question. All right, What do we got here?
So, Sam again has asked, have you seen the show The Sinner on USA? If so, what do you think?
I've seen commercials for it. It's with Jessica Biel, if I'm correct. I haven't checked it out yet, but it looked kind of interesting. So I was thinking about checking it out, maybe on demand, catching up on it, but I just haven't had a lot of time. My wife and I are getting ready to head to Mexico in a few days for our honeymoon, so we're kind of doing some planning and packing and prepping for that.
Yeah.
So
are you excited?
Oh my God, yeah, we can't wait for
you
Tuesday morning here.
You're gonna have to let us know how Trump's wall is coming along down there.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be flying over the border, so we're not gonna have any trouble getting over said wall. But hopefully, there's no issues getting
Good
back.
luck on your way back. The wall will be done by the year 2050. It's gonna be huge.
And we're all paying for it,
yeah.
Whether we want to or not. All right, we're going to continue with some of our TV Buzz topics. I got another one for you here, Bill. A new spin-off series of How I Met Your Mother, titled How I Met Your Dad, is currently in development with Meg Ryan allegedly serving as the show's narrator. I was never really into How I Met Your Mother, but Bob Saget narrated that show.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of
I think it's just a shame that Meg Ryan's looks have sunken so low that she can't even be seen.
Oh God, don't care.
I can only hear her voice now.
Yeah, she has not really aged all that good.
No, and I always thought she was
Botox.
Yeah, I always thought she was very cute. Back when she was popular. in movies such as Sleepless in Seattle. You've got Mail, IQ. But yeah, she really has not aged for the best. But I'm probably going to pass on this show. Like you said, I never got into the other version, and really not drawing me in for this one. But moving on, we have The Munsters is being rebooted by NBC, and Seth Meyers is on board to produce. What do you think about a reboot of The Munsters?
The Munsters, a reboot, huh? I remember watching reruns of The Munsters when I was a kid. It's a campy, goofy show. A la Addams Family, same vein. But I did see a report come out that it's going to be like set in like a hipster, like California kind of setting. I don't know how that's going to really translate into like the overall like horror theme of the show, even though it wasn't like a horror scary show. Just had the family with their background with it, it's still a comedy.
The video is frozen.
The video is frozen. Oh no.
That's because we put it on ice. It's like let us know if you're having other technical difficulties out there. If the video is freezing up, you might want to try and refresh your browser. Maybe clear your cookies as well.
Yeah, too many cookies in
Too many cookies in the queue. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see a take on the Munsters. Obviously it was so long ago that it was on TV that people might be able to take this as a fresh take.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it'll get the show and the property into the awareness of younger fans. Maybe they'll go out and check out some of the old black and white reruns wherever they can find it. But maybe something like this isn't something I'm going to be all that interested. I might check it out and give it a try, but I don't know. Hipster Munsters. Yeah. I think we can do better than that.
Absolutely. Moving on.
All right, moving on. This is going to be our last TV Buzz story, and
it's a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. Definitely a breath of fresh air for Glow fans. Netflix's Glow has officially been renewed for a second season. Bill, when we were going to talk about this on our main show a month or so ago, you hadn't checked it out yet, so we didn't talk about it. But you have since caught up on the entire season,
yes.
So let's get into Glow. What did you think about it?
I absolutely love this show. I didn't know what to expect from it at first. I didn't know how it was going to be presented, and how an all-female cast would interact with one another. But honestly, with Marc Maron, as that old, cynical, very satirical character, he really, brought the show all together. And then the female cast was just, everybody just, blended very well.
Right.
And, for me, I love half-hour episodes. So the fact that I was able to just, get my fill, one after another. The show just had really all around great chemistry. The humor was on point, but as well as the serious tones that it did have at times were great. It was all around a great show, and I'm gonna love to watch it again.
Yeah, I absolutely love the show. I did grow up in the 80s for a couple years. I had never actually seen the original Globe program when it was running concurrently with the WWF at the time. So it was something that I wasn't fully aware of until I really started getting into the series, and then I'd gone back and kind of looked up some of the old actual Globe programming. But looking at it from what the actual live show was and how it's portrayed on this series, I think they are doing, and they have done the first season, a really great job of, really nailing, the different characters, all the girls and how they're, coming together as non-wrestlers or, professional entertainers, really. They're, cast-off actresses and people just looking for a paycheck. And to see them come together in something so new and foreign to them, and really make it their own and make it enjoyable and entertaining, has been really fun to watch during this first season. The acting has been top notch. I mean, everything is just so believable, and you really feel for these girls. Their desperation really shows through, and to see the payoff. We don't want to get into spoiler territory here or anything like that, but to see how it pays off towards the end of the first season. It's really rewarding as a viewer to see, the girls doing well and, making something of, some cockamamie idea at the time. Really great show. Like you said, Mark Maron he's one of those lovable scumbags. You love him, you hate him at times, but at the end of the day, he's one of the best parts of the show. And, the entire cast, they're a lot of fun. We got a lot of, actual wrestler cameos from WWE wrestlers. Brodus Clay, the one big guy, and Carlito. He's the one chick's. They're her brothers. John Morrison is the wrestling coach that gets fired towards the beginning. There's a bunch of them in there, so really fun, easy watch. I mean, they're half-hour episodes. You can watch it in 5 hours.
Yeah, that's what really did well for me, was that you watch the first episode, which I believe was an hour long, and then you cruise right through the rest of the season, and just under 3 hours, I believe. When they're half-hour episodes, it's a lot easier to follow, keep your attention, and move from there. Nick from the Lethal Dose show, also on Toxic, joined the chat room.
Hey, Papa!
And said, "Wrestling is my thing, baby."
Is it?
Hopefully he's got some positive reviews about Glow. But we're gonna have to stay tuned for season 2 when we get the drop date for that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You know who wasn't in season 1 that maybe will pop up in season 2?
Who?
And his name is John Cena!
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now?
Maybe he'll pop up. He's in the new Bumblebee Transformer spinoff, like we talked about. So maybe his time is being taken up.
I think that does it for TV Buzz, right?
Yes. Like I said, we are not working with our normal studio equipment here, and you'll have to forgive me, Bill. I do apologize. For some reason, I cannot find our flipping the script little sound clip there. So Bill's going to flip some real pages. And we just have 2 stories for you. Bill, read this first one.
So, LeVar Burton...
No. Here,
no?
Here.
Oh.
Get on that one.
We'll get back to that one. Pulling it back here, Luke Cage actress Alfre Woodard has joined the cast of the upcoming The Lion King live-action remake, voicing Sarabi, the mother of Simba, along with Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
As
Baron Mordo.
Yeah, as Scar. Obviously Alfre is a well-renowned actress.
Luke Cage is in Civil War.
You definitely know her from the string of recent Marvel movies. She was also in Star Trek: First Contact. Also in I believe Crooklyn.
Okay.
If you know that movie. She is a top-notch actress.
She got a great ass!
I don't know about her ass, but
oh my!
That's exciting to see. The Lion King live-action remake to get some high-profile names in there.
And we just have one more for you. This, before I say this one, we are not in the habit of fake news. We do like to have everything, completely verified. But take this one with a little bit of a grain of salt. But it does appear, breaking news here, Resident Evil star Mila Jovovich, that's actually how you pronounce me, Mila Jovovich, is in final negotiations to join the new Hellboy reboot, playing the villainous Blood Queen. Bill, we know that Ron Perlman, your favorite, is not going to be a part of this one.
Good.
They have dropped the Rise of the Blood Queen subtitle. It's just going to be called Hellboy, even though we've already had a Hellboy movie. But, you know, she's an incredible action star. Resident Evil, what else am I thinking? Like Fifth Element. You know.
She was also in Dazed and Confused.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty much where I can.
She's easy on the eyes.
She is. How would you describe her her attractiveness? Because I feel like she's somebody that still looks very youthful.
She does.
And she's not a Hollywood actress that is. You never see her in these Maxim, top.
No, she's
definitely.
She's very beautiful, and she doesn't have to flaunt her sexuality to be sexy. In the Resident Evil movies, she's just such an incredible action star, and it's unfortunate that we're at the time that we're living in that we still have to categorize male and female actors and actresses. Her being an action star, she's a great action star, no matter what her gender is. So I think this is probably going to be a really good fit for the type of movie that this is. Comic book action movie. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to see it because I haven't been a fan of the Hellboy movies, but hey, maybe no Ron Perlman, no problem. Bill, we've been trying to get a little something going on social media here.
Right.
I had actually tweeted at Ron Perlman yesterday.
Did you?
That you are not a fan of his. I didn't get a reply back yet, but I did preface it to say to be as graphic as you would like to be. So we'll be awaiting a response from him.
Yeah, you know what, Ron Perlman? Maybe if you have the balls, and assuming that you have 2 balls, maybe you could use at least one of those balls to send a reply via Twitter to the Cinescape podcast.
Oh, Billy!
And, maybe, if you're such a bad biker dude, the way that you portray yourself, maybe you'll be able to get on your Harley and ride on over to our studio one day and meet me mano to mano and put me in my place. That's if you got the testicular fortitude to do so. And you know what? Police Academy 7 sucked. It fucking sucked.
Oh, man. That sounds like shots fired. We could have
big shots fired.
Bill v. Ron Perlman coming up in the squared circle.
Yeah, Hellboy stinks.
Hellboy stinks. You heard it here first, folks. Alright, that is going to do it for our Flipping the Script segment. We do have a strange story, Bill.
Strange stories. We started this new segment on the Cinescape podcast last show. And 2 shows ago, I'm sorry. And we are picking up again tonight with a strange story that we're going to drop on you right now, actually. So...
Here we go.
Yeah, so LeVar Burton is being sued for using the classic Green Rainbow catchphrase on his podcast. Public broadcast WNED released a statement in the issue saying, as evidenced by Mr. Burton's conduct since he began teasing the public about the return of Reading Rainbow years before his company acquired any rights to do so, Mr. Burton's goal is to control and reap the benefits of Reading Rainbow's substantial goodwill that is unquestionably belongs to WNED.
Oh, man. So this guy can't even use the own catchphrase that he coined on the show that he starred in for his own gains? Is that what you're telling me here, Bill?
That's pretty much what I'm getting at. And you know what? Listen, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the world, and the fact that this is such atrocious news, it's honestly unthinkable, to the likes of which we have never seen before.
You bastard!
It's just shitty. Here you got a guy that made success for himself and for a network by teaching and informing and educating many Americans out there, and to use a catchphrase of his to, even if it is to tease the public the return of Reading Rainbow, how are you going to get on this guy's nuts about doing so? If anything, you let him do it because it's going to fucking bring good business to you. It's going to bring the show back. Don't you want to make money? That's how you fucking do it. You put the guy out there who made you a success and let him use his social media influence.
Yeah, wouldn't you want him, backing your programming and whatever it is to, bring that to new fans?
So WNED, pull your head out of your ass, let fucking Geordie LaForge do his thing, and get Reading Rainbow back where it needs to be. On there.
What's the deal with...
What's the deal with that, Bill? Oh man, that's shitty.
Big
Yoda has just a little bit of laugh for that one. That's going to do it for the bulk of our actual stories here, but we're going to stick with you guys a little bit. Like we said, we're going to be doing a Q&A session here for those of you in the chat, so if you have any movie or TV related questions, we've had a couple already, but if you have something else that you would like to have answered by us, leave them in the chat here, and we will do our best to answer them to the best of our knowledge. But Bill, while we're still here, we wanted to get into a little bit of interviewing each other.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing you correctly. So I'm going to throw it over to you, and we're going to see what you have on your mind that you would maybe like me to answer. Bear with us, Bill is he's sharing out some Facebook goodies for you guys. So make sure you jump in the chat here with us, ask away, comment away. We love hearing everything that you guys have to say.
Not everything.
Well,
Okay.
any kind of feedback is good. You can tell us we suck. That's fine.
So, Sean, we've been doing this show for quite a while now.
We're almost at the 1 year mark.
Almost at the 1 year mark. And we've hit a lot of strides. For our listeners, in case you weren't aware, we just got our numbers for last month, and we are very excited to share that we were just shy, but we had almost 12,000 downloads.
How many?
12,000.
Oh, boy.
Downloads of the Cinescape podcast.
Wow.
That premieres on the Toxic Radio.
Wow.
Toxic Radio Network. You can check us out on toxicradio.net, which is also under the Wildfire Radio Network. If you haven't checked us out, obviously we do our show visually live on Facebook. If you're somebody who has a long commute to work, maybe you're in your car for a while, you can definitely check us out on iTunes.
And Stitcher. We're on Stitcher as well.
On Stitcher, if you use Stitcher. We also upload our shows onto YouTube as well, so if you want to continue the viewing experience, you can watch our past shows on there. But iTunes is, obviously one of the best ways to go because, you get the podcast app on your iPhone or your iPad.
iToilet.
On the iToilet, you can download us. But also, if you do listen to us on there, we would really appreciate that you subscribe, you share, and that you leave us feedback too, because we
reviews.
We really love hearing from you guys on what you want to hear and how we can obviously always improve what we bring to you. So with that being said, we've like I said, we are at the 1 year mark just about, and hitting 12,000 downloads. We wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. the audience and
viewers like you.
But we want to be able to open up the forum for you guys to get intimate with us. If you want to know what kind of underwear I'm wearing right now, or if you want to,
if you're wearing any,
if you want to know how Sean conditions his beard, it's that time of the show.
The month.
It's that time of the month where I bleed out of my ass for 3 days.
Oh my!
Yes. But Sean, a lot of our viewers, who listen to us, only get to get a glimpse into our lives for a moment, and we want to take this time to just open it up. So Sean, I want to know for you, what drives you to stay involved and stay motivated with this show. We have our normal boring jobs all the time that we have to do. But what's when you think about our show in the terms of the success that we've had, what would you reflect on and say is the enjoyable factor that keeps you coming back, keeps you going on with the show?
I think first off, it's kind of an ego thing. I mean, I've never been one to, be flashy or kind of toot my own horn, but, as we've been going on this past year, I like numbers. So looking at our numbers, seeing the 851 Facebook page likes that we have, or the 300-something Twitter followers, or like you just were talking about, our nearly 12,000 downloads last month for our show. Seeing that we're actually making an impact on people. People are tuning in. People are checking out the content that we're delivering to them, and it's really reassuring that we have actual fans. This isn't our job. We don't get paid for it. We don't make any money off of this. We do it because we enjoy it. We actually pay for our own studio time. That's going. You can unplug mine. We're a little behind the scenes here. But yeah, getting back to it, just seeing feedback from the people that enjoy our show, that download our show, that give comments and feedback and shares and reviews. It's just really reassuring that people are enjoying what we're doing, and it's a little added bonus to your overall mundane everyday life.
Yeah, awesome.
Also, over the last year, we've had some really awesome opportunities for things, movie screenings, press passes to Comic-Con, things like that, and we've gotten to really network with a lot of great people, both online and in person. We've made some really good connections that are helping us to further our show, and we've also had a really good number of great guests from the entertainment industry. We had sci-fi face-off competitor Melissa Ebby call into our show. We've had Access Hollywood's Scott Mance call into our show. I got the chance to meet and interview Hugh Jackman. The different guests that we've had from the entertainment business has really added given some credence to what we're doing. We're not just schlocky guys sitting around talking about what we like about movies and TV shows. It kind of gives us that that credibility behind what we're doing, and shows people that we have a voice in this space, and other people that are higher up than us are taking time out of their busy schedules to stop for 20, 25 minutes, half hour to hang out with us either on the phone or in person. So it's really a really cool thing that we have going on, and we're looking to blossom even further heading into year 2.
Absolutely. I think you hit a lot of good points there. So I'm very graciously accepting of the success that we've had. In terms of what our resources are and our accessibility to things. And, I really have to say that for me, it's our chemistry too. The opportunity to work with you, we are to each our own, but it is honestly our chemistry with each other that I feel is genuine and transcends to our audience. It's not fake news. I think that's the enjoyable part. To attribute our ego, our success to is that the things that you just mentioned, the guests that we've had on, the people we've interacted with, the opportunity that we have had. We wouldn't have been able to do this, solo. And every show is a reward that we get to enjoy together. And I'm looking forward, hitting our 1 year mark and
September 3rd, year one.
September 3rd.
In the books.
And you know what? Moving on, we got year 2 right around the corner. So you know what? We take it one day at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. And, hopefully 8:51 today, 8:52 tomorrow, so on and so on. And, looking back at the guests we've had makes me excited for the guests to come. And
I do have a couple in the pipeline coming up here.
Building the pipeline.
I don't want to give...
It's like a South Dakota pipeline.
Yeah, I don't want to give, too much hope. Obviously things can happen, but should we drop a little something here?
Give him a tease.
All right. We actually did tease this one during our last in-studio show, but especially Philadelphia area people, you will know this guy if you are a listener of WMMR or Y100 back in the day when that was on. I'm not going to say who he is, but he is one of the hosts of the Preston and Steve morning show on 93.3 MMR. He has agreed to come into the studio with us. We just have to nail down, the final statistics here, the inner workings of it. But he has agreed. We're hoping to get him in for our first birthday show. So we're going to nail that down in the coming weeks and hopefully get that done. And I also was emailing with Christian Harloff from Schmoes Know and Collider. He is the commissioner of the Movie Trivia Schmodown Movie Trivia League. I had asked him to call into our show sometime. He just had to give him a couple of weeks. Things are obviously very busy out there, so he said give him a couple of weeks and we'll work something out. So hopefully in the next coming weeks he will be able to give us a call. We've had a lot of Collider/Schmoes panelists call in. We've had Josh McCouga, we've had Meyer Burnett, we've had Jason Inman, we've had Ashley Robinson, Robert Butler III. He does a little show introduction for us at the top of our shows when we put them in there every now and then. I've reiterated this fact a bunch of times on our show whenever we get to talk to these guys, but these they're on YouTube, so these shows have really been my inspiration for wanting to get our kind of show started. Seeing what these guys are doing on their own channels. And me, being a fan of theirs and being a fan of the movie space, the TV space, and, having an opinion to put out there. These guys have really been, the forefathers for me of what I wanted to be, or I wanted our show to be. So it's really great whenever we get the chance to talk to them and have them call into our show. So that's going to be one of the bigger ones for me, as he's up there on my Mount Rushmore of people that I wanted to get to talk to. So that's going to be cool. So look out for that. Hopefully coming soon.
Yes.
Bill, I'm going to throw a question out for you.
Do it. Send it.
So like we were talking about, we've gotten the chance to do a lot of cool things, meet a lot of new people,
yes.
Network. What has been maybe not your biggest, but one of your biggest highlights of things that we've gotten to do over this past year?
There's so many, but I would have to say, my experience with Chris Owen from American Pie,
Shermanator.
He's not, some
an A-list celebrity.
A-list celebrity, and that's no
disrespect.
No disrespect, but for me, he's still a celebrity, and he's somebody that has been in several movies that but for me, I got to interview him at a local con that we had here earlier in the year, back in April.
I think we got more out of the con than anybody else that actually went.
Absolutely. And I think
or that the people running it.
Yes. For me, it was an awesome opportunity to interview somebody for the show, and be able to ask some questions and have that one-on-one interview. But it was an experience that I really got to enjoy because I got to talk to the actor Chris Owen, but I also got to interact with the person Chris Owen, the civilian, the humans. And he was nothing but just generous, very down to earth, and he talked to you as if he was a friend, and didn't treat you as a schlub of the media, or somebody who wasn't some high profile person in the business. And that's that was a defining moment for me, because what I gained out of that was was a genuine connection. And the funny thing about that was also that due to some flawed business planning,
to say the least. That's putting it mildly.
Yeah, some flawed business planning on behalf of the con, which play it.
Oh, hold on.
You got it?
I do have it.
You got
Here
it?
is.
Like I said, due to some poor planning, him as an actor who was on the circuit, it was his first con, and he was very humble for the experience.
Break your back, make you humble.
And he was put in a tough situation where he needed to get out of there, right? The event wasn't what it panned out to be, and the guy had he had to get back home, and if it weren't for me being in the right place at the right time, I can't imagine how the experience would have continued to sour. And stuff went down at the event, and it turned out that I had given him a ride to the airport so that way he could catch his flight in time. And it was something that I was happy to do because the guy was in a pinch, and not being from the area, not knowing where he's at, I was more than willing to give him a lift to the airport. And he tried to throw me money and stuff like that, but I told him, I was like, listen, all I need is just a picture, and we'll be straight. And the guy was more than welcoming, and gave me a picture. He threw me an autograph too, for an autographed Angus picture. But that's the cool part of the job, I guess, is the being able to just connect with people that you grew up watching on the big screen, and just really being able to connect on a very mutual and down to earth basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, we had the similar experience with Thomas and Nicholas.
Yeah.
We got to meet him at Philadelphia Wizard World Comic Con back in what was that, May, June?
I think it was June.
And we got to have an awesome conversation with him at the con, and talk about a lot of cool things going on. And the guy was totally down to earth as well. Came on our show a few weeks later, despite some technical difficulties we initially had. But you know what? We ironed it out. Stayed true to his word. Came back on the show. Talked to us for damn near an hour.
Yeah.
And it was cool because it was like catching up with a buddy at the bar, and you're just shooting the shit. And he was another guy who just gave us the real version. A lot of times you get people on a show and it's overly scripted, or they talk about a lot of safe things. And what did he do? He answered the questions we asked him and some. And
he gave some cool stories.
Yeah.
With Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt, different, insider information that you're not going to hear anywhere else.
Right.
But yeah, getting back to what you were just saying, getting the opportunity to talk to people that we've, seen on the big screen growing up, and then actually interacting with them and getting a rapport with them is just a really cool experience. We're not overly famous, to put it mildly. We're two Philadelphia suburban guys. So anytime we get the chance to kind of rub elbows with somebody a little higher up in the food chain there is certainly cool for us. So we definitely don't take for granted all the opportunities that we've gotten on that front. Your coolest experiences, your Chris Owen thing. We had a great interview with him. That's up on our YouTube channel. You can go and actually that interview and the Tia Carrere one that I did.
Yeah.
Those two videos are constantly being watched on our YouTube channel. There's like at least a couple every single day. Huh. And it's really just so whenever I go in and check the stats on there, it's really cool to see. But those are consistently always watched. Mine would obviously be, the opportunity to meet and interview Hugh Jackman and that whole experience that I had with Screen Rant. Getting to go to New York and see Logan a month early, and then, getting to talk with Hugh for a couple minutes. Opportunity of a lifetime for not only just a fan of his or the X-Men or, what we're doing for our show-wise. And I also, got to meet a great contact in Rob Keyes from Screen Rant. I just bullshit text with him all the time.
Yeah.
He and his wife just brought their first daughter into the world recently, a couple weeks ago.
Via Portal, right? There was a portal had opened up and brought her into the Earth realm.
Yeah, so he'll send me pictures of the baby, and we'll send each other pictures of each other's dogs, and just shoot the shit, and just meeting new people and getting the opportunity to network with these cool people. It's just a lot of fun, and like I said, that adds that credibility to what we're doing for our own show.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, people want to know, how tall are you?
How tall am I? I am 5'10".
Oh, okay.
5'10". What about you? You're a little shorter than that.
Yeah, depending on the day of the week, I'm 5'7", 5'8".
Now, if you're wearing your platform heels, how tall are you?
Then I'm at your height of 5'10".
Okay. Right.
Model status, you know what I mean?
Right. Bill, you are a stand-up comedian. Not many people would know that. I know you haven't gotten up on the stage in a couple of years.
Right.
How would you say that your background with stand-up comedy has translated into our live show?
It's like you said. I haven't done it in a standing period of time, but I would say the way that it transcends to the show. It's definitely an added bonus because a lot of times, part of my stand-up background is improv too. I did some improv back in college and in workshops too. And I think the big thing with not only our show but with some of the opportunities that we've had is you have to be able to think on your feet. And when you do stand-up comedy, even though you may have your script of jokes to go through or your stories to tell, there's always that dynamic of being live with an audience where things happen and you have to react to them, and you have to be able to to react appropriately, or sometimes maybe inappropriately.
It's usually inappropriate.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's been a huge attribute to be able to think on your feet, deliver a sharp or well thought response to something that maybe wasn't always planned, but you are able to push on and continue with the format. And I think it helps too with there's so much seriousness in the world right now. There's a lot that shakes people up right now and keeps them maybe not thinking so lightheartedly that for me, being able to take some of the topics that maybe are more serious in tone at times for us, directly or indirectly, I think it helps to bring a certain level of humor to what we do, or be able to think outside of the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What movie is that?
7.
Yes. But ultimately, I do miss the stand-up scene, and I would like to get back into it at some point.
I think you're gonna need to.
Yeah.
I always enjoy going down to the comedy cabaret.
Comedy cabaret.
Checking out the yucks that you have to throw out.
Oh my God! It was
the Chuckle Hut down there.
The Chuckle Hut. It was such a cool scene. I mean, at the time, it was really more of an excuse just to get bombed and tell jokes.
Well, now we can do that in the studio.
Absolutely. But you know what? Maybe in the future, the Cinescape will be an outlet for future stand-up comedians. And, that would be a great aspect, to work into the show. Maybe we will be able to sponsor some type of stand-up showcase at some point. And
I know our buddies from Nerds with Words, Greg Trout, he's a stand-up comedian as well. Maybe we get him to come out for that event as well.
Yeah, one of my other friends. His name is Greg Ian Snyder, who is on Facebook. He used to be my former upstairs neighbor, and right now, currently, he's doing a lot of improv and sketch comedy, and he's now producing a lot of his own stuff, his own original material, and he's on Facebook and YouTube as well. And somebody like him, I would love to get on the show and, get him to showcase what he's got going on, because he's a very funny guy, very zany, and I think, he would also be great for when we do some of our trivia showdowns as well, because, he's another guy like us that, has amassed a lot of knowledge about movies and TV.
A dearth of knowledge.
Yeah, and
I always like that word, dearth.
Dearth. And it'd be great to see him, on the circuit as well. So
now, speaking of our trivia league that we haven't had one in a while, but if you guys have checked them out before, we have gotten our Cinescape Trivia Challenge League going. We've had a number of matches. Bill and I have both participated in them. We had some other local people come in to compete as well. Bill is our current champion. So, Bill, if you could play somebody either that is currently in our league, somebody that has or has not competed, or somebody outside of the league that we could possibly get in, who would you want to play to defend your championship?
Ooh, that's tough, man.
Who do you think is deserving of a title shot?
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. There's a lot of brothers out there, a lot of people trying to vie for the belt. But you know what? I'll send a challenge out there to anybody, anywhere, anytime that wants to challenge me for the reigning national trivia title championship belt. To come down to the Toxic Radio studio in New Jersey any day of the week. And I'll let it be known, brother, I'll take you on any day, any time, any weather. Let's do this, brother. I don't really have a name for anybody in particular because there's so many good people out there. But you send a name out there and you set it up and it's going down.
All right, so we got an open challenge here. I think the rematch clause for myself is got to be still in effect coming up at some point. I need a rematch to, once and for all, put our rivalry to rest. I won the Jeopardy match. You won the trivia match. We have a rubber match coming up. But it is my goal for one of our upcoming guests. I'm going to do my best to get him to compete in our trivia game when he does come on to play against you, our champion. So it could be a little celebrity Cinescape trivia challenge match. Also with Schmoes Knows Christian Harloff, like I said, he is the commissioner of the Schmodown Movie Trivia Schmodown League. We're going to obviously talk to him about that when and if we do get him on the show. And I'm definitely going to press him about an issue that I've had. Nothing negative, but we have the people that regularly compete on his show, and obviously they're people from Rotten Tomatoes and IGN and Nerdist and things like that in the the bigger space than what we are. But I know that I'm not the only one out there who follows this that wants to see actual fans get a chance to compete. We've had one actual fan team get to go out and compete, and they did reasonably well. But I want to see something like some kind of like national tournament, in major cities where people like us, podcasters or YouTubers, we can go around and kind of compete in like a bigger tournament. Maybe the prize being that you get to go out to Burbank, California.
Yeah, honestly,
and, challenge one of these teams.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would be that I know Collider's not going to fly us out there and put us in a Best Western for the night. But you know what? What I would say is that we are a legit media force that knows what we're doing, and we know a lot about TVs and movies. And my challenge would be to any of those guys, Josh McCouga, Robert Meyer Burnett, RB3, whoever you want to throw at us. We'll come out to California. We'll come out to your little town of Burbank, and we'll fucking wear a cool, trendy T-shirt for the day. I'll throw on a deep V-neck.
How deep?
It'll be
deep? Like navel deep?
It'll be deep.
Oh,
deep
man.
cut, bro. You'll see taco meat hanging out of here. It'll be like a fucking beef chalupa right here, and you're gonna open your mouth up and you're gonna take bites of this beefy chalupa chest hair. And you know what? We'll come out there and we'll challenge whatever team Collider wants to throw at us. Schmodown, no down, whatever. You can line it up. We'll spin the fucking wheel. We'll get the little whiteboards and we'll write our answers down. And
we got whiteboards in our studio.
Yeah, and you know what? My handwriting is impeccable, son. Not like that chicken scratch I see half these guys that look like they dropped out of the 6th grade, okay? We're gonna fucking dominate. So you know what? Set it up. We're flying out there. Coach, to your location, okay? Put us in the studio. Nice high-top chairs, okay? And we'll do this.
I think I'm going to have to cut this segment of the show out and like tweet it to Christian so he can, get us on board for that. We are going to wrap this up, but Bill, before we get going here, we've alluded to the fact that we're heading into year 2 very shortly here.
Yeah.
We've accomplished a lot. We've gotten to, a lot of cool things. Where do we go next? What do you see us doing in year 2?
Year 2 has got a lot to be built upon. Obviously, we've done a lot to establish ourselves, let you know who we are. But, the next goal for us is we want to hit milestones. We want viewerships. So we can only do this with you people.
You people?
Yes, you people. Do we even have a name for our fans? Cinescapians? Cinescapers?
Cinescape artists?
Cinescape artists? Whatever you think you would want to call yourself. We can't do it without you. So, my challenge to you is share us, like us, subscribe to us, comment, all that good stuff. Let your friends and family members know. Share our stories. Share our topics. Talk to us. We can't do this without you.
Absolutely.
So my challenge to you is help us be as big as you want us to be.
Help us help you.
Give us a reach around, if you will.
Sure.
Okay? Because we would give you a reach around. If
we'll do it.
If you were sad and lonely and you had no hands, we would be that hand. Okay?
Helping hands.
Yes. And you know what I see? I see in the next year, I see us talking to more, great actresses, actors, professionals that are in the industry, people that, are meaningful and have the connection that we're looking for, people that, bring something to the table. And, I think, with your help, with our drive, our intensity, this show is going to be something that's going to be bigger than a show. It's not just going to be a podcast anymore.
It's going to be a movement.
It's going to be taken over. And for me, I would like to see us become even more enriched in the media business that we just started as a hobby. And whether if that's, working in the business, directly, or whatever. But, we can't do it without you. So, stay with us, stay involved, stay engaged, tell us where we can find you, because we want to be all over. We want to be
on you.
We want to be on you. And, it's going to be fun. Stay with us. That's all I can say.
Definitely, yeah. Stay with us. Like Bill said, subscribe, rate, comment, follow, share. Find us everywhere that you can. Let your grandparents know. We want to get as many of you guys into our growing community as we can. That's going to do it for us tonight. Like I said, I'm going on my honeymoon this coming week. We will not have a show in studio next week, but we will be back on September 3rd for our first birthday show. We want to thank you guys for an awesome first year. Thank you for all of your support, for checking out our shows on whatever medium that you are, and we will see you guys again in a couple of weeks. Have a great rest of your weekend.